Welcome everyone, today we have a new builds guide for Diablo 4, and due to popular requests, we'll be looking into the top meta and also top beta build for the Necromancer, which will be the Bone Mage. Now there is actually a lot of highlights and also synergies with the Bone Essence Mage. So what I want to do is, I want to quickly summarize some of the perks of the Bone Mage to you guys, then we go through the skills and also the skill tree. So as for this particular top meta Bone Mage, during the testing beta, what people were telling me was there is a lot of increased essence passives and also skills with a Bone Mage. And one of the features with the Bone Mage is this will be late game. And in the late game, the Bone Mage won't be using any of the summoning minions, but rather the Bone Mage will take those to its advantage, getting more increase of essence and also critical chance as well as critical hit. So two of the passives that we want to get into is going to be to increase our maximal energy by 9 essence with Unliving energy, and also by another 26.25 with sacrificing Skeleton Mage with the passives that increase 60%, and also with the Codex that increase another 15% for the effect of sacrifice. So those will be the two sources of higher essence, and here are some of the reasons you want high essence. For each point of essence you have, you gain a point of bonus damage for your Bone Spirit. Now if you have over 100%, you get 100% bonus increased damage. And also for each point of essence over 50, you gain another 1 point of bonus damage to all of your bone skills. And this can be over 100 as well, depending on how much essence you have. And similarly, for each 10 point of essence we have, another passive that increases our bonus critical rate by 1.5%. So with 100 essence, you get another 15% bonus critical rate. And by spending essence, once we spend 100 essence, we'll be gaining minus 1.5 seconds to the bone skills, and most of our skills will be bone skills. Additionally, if you have more than 50 essence, your Bone Splitter will have a 30% chance of casting another 2 more splitters of projectiles, which will be really nice. And we'll be dealing 30% more damage for the core skill Bone Spear while spending 15% more essence. And finally, we have lots of great bonus damage and also bonus effect to vulnerable enemies, including critical chance and also bonus damage. Now going through the type of skills and also summary. So the basic skill will go with Bone Splitter, and this is one of the bone spells to start with the basic skills. For the core skill and also a massive damage boost will go with a Bone Spear, and this was set to almost one-shot most of the elites and also bosses in the beta. I'm yet to test it out, but at level 100 with a lot of stats and also Paragon levels, the Bone Mage was set to be very strong. For Macab, yeah, a lot of viewers was telling me it's pronounced as Macab. For Macab, we'll go with Bone Prison. Now Bone Prison will be another bone spell that can also deal damage with some of the Codex. For Corruption, we'll go with Decrepify, to reduce enemies' damage and also to increase the damage taken, and also to give us a lower cooldown reduction. As for Summoning, we'll go with Bone Spirit. This will be a massive damage boost and also quite interesting as we crit to reduce cooldown. For the ultimate, we'll be going with Bone Storm, and this skill can extend its duration while we consume corpses, which will be quite interesting because we kinda want corpses for this spell. And for the capstone, we'll go Ossified Essence. And this is where we deal bonus bone spell damage and also bonus damage with more essence. And this will be the core skill for the passives of the Essence Bone Mage. Now coming over to the skill tree calculator for the maximum level Necromancer. So one thing we mentioned earlier, for the Book of the Dead, we'll be sacrificing the Skeleton Warriors, Mages and also Golems. For the Skeleton Warrior and also Golem, we'll go with higher critical chance and also higher critical hit damage. Now because Skeleton Warrior also benefits from another 15 and also 60% bonus for sacrificing them, so I'll show you guys quickly over here. So this bonus perk allows us to sacrifice Skeleton Warriors and Mages for another 60% bonus. And on top of the existing bonus of course, and here we'll get another 15% sacrificial bonus. So this allows us to really benefit on higher critical chance, higher critical damage, and finally much higher maximal essence, which will become a massive factor in the build. So starting our basic skill tree, we go with 1 point in Bone Splitter and its upgrades. So here we have a chance of finding additional projectiles when we have 50 or more essence with 30% chance for 2 projectiles. And over here we also have the casting of increasing critical chance. And while we crit, we also get some other effects as well. So the Bone Splitter will allow us to have more energy gain with more splinters. Now as for the core skill of the build, we go with Bone Spear. Bone Spear allows us to fire a spear at the ground and also pierces through enemies. The Bone Spear will break into shard and also deal 10% damage each. And finally, when bone spear have an increased critical chance and also critical strikes, there will be additional bone shots that will be fired. So with a high critical damage and also critical chance build, we'll pretty much have a lot of those proc rate with those bonus effects of critical hitting. Now the passive over here for the core skill, we'll go with a maximal energy or maximal essence. So we're going into 3 points into Unliving energy for 9 additional maximal essence. And of course, we're definitely going with increase this core skill by another 30% while spending 15% more essence. We have a lot of essence, so it's not a big deal. And also the 30% bonus increase damage is going to be massive. Now I do want to mention we do have 1 or 2 spare points into the passive over here for reconstruction. We won't be using corpses a lot. I was thinking about whether I want to go with consuming corpses with corpse explosion, but in the end I decided to go under this perk. But we'll still be getting some corpses, and the corpses will become useful in extending the duration of the ultimate spell, which we'll see very soon. Now as for the Macab skill tree, we'll go with a Bone Prison. So here I decided to not go with the Corpse Explosion, but go with a Bone Prison, because the Bone Prison can become a damage spell with the Codex. The Bone Prison will have an increased life the higher level we have, so this can become a defensive and also maybe a controlling spell as well for the Bone Mage. The Bone Essence will provide us with more essence as we hit with the Bone Prison. And also on top of that, the Bone Prison will provide us with vulnerability to enemies, and this will boost our damage by 20% and also other effects as we see the passives. Now coming over to the Corruption tree. We go with Decrepify, and one of the reasons I wanted to go with Decrepify is that while enemies are debuffed by your curse, you deal increased damage. And while Decrepify hits enemies, we have a chance of lowering cooldown by a 15% chance of lowering active cooldown by 1.5 seconds for each enemy decrepified and also cursed. And also the Decrepify will also have a chance of stunning enemies and also reduce the damage and also slow them. Now ideally, we do want to become somewhat of a melee mage, and this will provide us with increased more damage, and also we take less damage. So we will go with a form of a melee mage compared to the range mage. So it depends on your playstyle, guys. If you're going with a range mage, you basically perk those into the death reach. So from about 12% more increased damage to distant enemies compared to the melee mage. We'll be going with the Bone Spirit for the summoning skill tree, and here we'll go with level 5 in Bone Spirit and also its perks. I really like the perk that if you critical strike, you have 6 second lower cooldown reaction, and this turns Bone Spirit from 12 seconds into 6 seconds. And similarly, you do gain another 10% chance of critical striking with Bone Spirit, which makes it like very high in critical strike chance. Now on top of that, some of the really good bone skill perks are over here in the summoning section. So Surrogation means that your bone skills have 1.5% increased critical skill chance with every 10 essence you have upon cast. And ideally we have over 100 essence, so this can easily be another 15% bonus critical chance. Now you can see I have perked into all the passive over here. So with Compound Fracture, with critical striking 10 times, the Bone spells will deal additional 18% damage. So you can see the build really focused on making enemies vulnerable, giving high critical strike, and also having high essence for all the bonus. Over here we also have Rapid Ossification, so when we have spent 100 essence, we have a reduction to all the bone skill cooldown, which will be really good defensive and also offensive. And finally, Illusion allows us to deal additional bone skills critical strike damage on vulnerable enemies, and that's why I want to make enemies vulnerable with a Bone Prison. Coming over to the ultimate skill section, we'll go with Bone Storm, which allows us to deal a bone continuous damage with your character. You won't have your golem, right? So you'll deal continuous damage for 10 seconds, and this will be a casting of a 60-second cooldown spell. Now one of the passives is quite interesting. The first one is you have damage reduction, which really helps being a melee mage. And the second thing is, while Bone Storm is activated, you can consume corpses, and this can extend the duration of the Bone Storm by up to 10 seconds. And this is one of the reasons previously I decided to take 1 or 2 perks into Reconstruction, which means we can get more corpses. And this can be extending the ultimate. It's not a big deal, but I do want the Bone Storm, the offensive and also defensiveness to last for 20 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Now some of the best perks for the endgame for the Sacrificial Mage will be that if we don't have any minions, we gain 18% damage reduction, which is massive. And also, you can sacrifice your minions for 60% bonus. and this is actually also massive. Now the capstone of choice for the Bone Mage will be the ossified essence. So as we spoke earlier, once you have over 50 essence, you will deal more damage for each percent you have, or each point you have, which means you can easily deal over 50 or 60% damage with one shot. And this is how a lot of players will one-shotting the elites and also almost one-shotting the bosses. Because the Bone Spear hits hard, and also Bone Spear gets 30% and a massive percentage plus with vulnerability and also with high essence. And this will be the core skill of the build. Now coming over to the Codex section of the skill tree. Now quite straightforward with the defensive points, and also we do want to have high energy resource, so we go with Edgemaster for sure. And because we want to, amplify the bone skill, we can go with the Expectant. So I usually go with those for the resource spenders. Some of the highlights for the bone spell is that we do want to deal some damage with the bone prison if we can. So the aspect of bursting bones allows the bone prison to deal damage when destroyed or expired. Now because we want to go with a bone spirit, we can go with the possessed blood. So if you pick up blood orbs, you can summon more bone spirit. But we are not generating a lot of orbs, so this one's definitely optional. And so is the bone spirit dealing additional damage when traveling. So those two are optional. If you have the points, you can go with those. And finally, you definitely want to go with the sacrificial aspect, which allows you to gain another 15% bonus of your sacrifice to all the minions. Now we do notice that it is not a lot of offensive perks with Codex for this build. Maybe I'm missing some of them, or maybe we can just save some of the points for the future perks. So for the resource section, we will be going with aspect of potent blood. You want to keep your essence high, and by picking blood orbs that give us 10 essence is actually not bad. As for utility of the build, we're definitely going with aspect of torment, so critical strike with bone skills provide us with higher essence generation for 20%, and this will be very constant. As for mobility, the wind striker aspect gives us higher movement speed because we critical hit a lot of the time. Now because of the focus of the build, we'll focus on critical chance and also critical strike damage, and also a lot of essence. We will be casting Bone Splinters quite a bit, so if you do want to go into more skill points into this spell, it is okay if you have the spare, but ideally you want more passive. And the key part of the spell is, once you face challenging enemies or stronger enemies, you want to have as much essence as you can before casting Bone Spear, and also before casting your Bone Spirit. And this will give you a high chance of one-shotting enemies, and then you do want to regenerate more of your essence before you start casting. Ideally, you want to cast spells with above 50 essence, and we do have a lot of spells that gives you more essence and also regeneration. And of course, if you find yourself to be consuming more corpses, you can come to this spell over here. Where did it go? It's over here. So we can go with Grim Harvest. If you can consistently consume more corpses, let's say if you go with Corpse Explosion, then you can get more essence. And getting more essence also gives you more damage. I didn't go with this one because I didn't have enough ways to consume essence or consume corpses for more essence. Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. So I just started a YouTube channel with my girlfriend yesterday, and you can see this is only 12 hours old, this YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.